Okay. Hey, my Legion, how y'all doing today? I'm here with my buddy John, and we just saw A Monster Calls, which we kept calling When a Monster Calls because of the movie When a Stranger Calls.
Yes. And there wasn't a sequel when the Stranger Called Back.
When a Stranger Calls Back. With that scene with that ventriloquist and that dummy with no face, that freaked me out. And that When a Stranger Calls Back. Yeah, this is really good. It came out the same time as BFG, or BFG might have came out a week later, and this one didn't do well. BFG, I think it did okay. BFG, but it's two completely different films. It involves around this kid whose mom is dying, and then he keeps seeing this monster who wants to tell him all these stories and stuff. And then at the end of the third story, he has to tell him his story, with his nightmare.
It's pretty good. It's great cast. You have Sigourney Weaver, Felicity Jones from Rogue One,
Yeah.
and Liam Neeson doing the voice of the tree. It's kind of like, it kind of reminds us of I Killed Giants.
Yeah.
It'd be a good double feature if you haven't seen either of those, or hell, throw in Pan's Labyrinth even.
Oh yeah. But I mean, the Pan's Labyrinth is not. I mean, well, yeah. I mean.
Well, they're both fantasy.
Oh, they're both fantasy.
About
Yes.
people,
Yeah.
kids coping with what's going on in their lives and having a fantasy escape.
Yeah. Okay. Well, yeah. That's a good way to explain this movie because it's probably be. I mean, it's really good. I mean, I like it's kind of sad. It's sad though.
Yeah, he said he couldn't see Parents Sacred.
Yeah, I couldn't.
But that's a problem. To me, they need this. Kids should.
Oh yeah, they should see this. I mean, but I mean,
listen.
Okay.
Before you get going,
Okay.
That's the thing about society in general around the world. We've gone from the Brothers Grimm, where they had these dark twisted tales, and Hans Christian Andersen, his version of Little Mermaid. But we've gone to Frank L. Baum and Disney.
Yeah.
It's we've gotten away from darker stories or sadder stories, it seems like, but we still need some of that stuff. Kids still need to be exposed to.
Oh yeah.
It's just a way of them for dealing with the darker aspects of life and the sadder aspects of life. I think you still need those type of stories as well as the happy and uplifting stories.
I mean, it's definitely. I mean, kids should see it. I mean, I couldn't imagine parents taking the kids to the theater to see it, but I mean, they should definitely see it, especially if they're dealing with some of these issues. You know what I mean?
All right.
Yeah, it's definitely
it's a beautiful fantasy movie.
Yeah, it's wonderful. It's just sad.
Yeah.
And then, why am I? Oh man. So I guess that's it for me. I give it a 10 out of 10.
Yeah, it's very good. It's something different. I forgot about it. I think I threw it on my list, and I just saw it recently on. There was an article of Rotten Tomatoes, 75 high score.
Fantasy films.
Fantasy films, and that was on there. I think that might have been a little bit higher than BFG.
Yeah.
Oh, I was kind of surprised at the number one. Guess what the number one?
What?
And Wizard of Oz, the 19 was it?
34?
34, 30s.
I can imagine that being number one. Cause,
I want to make sure it's specified because that was the third movie by that time.
Yeah, because they did the silent ones too. I think Laurel and Hardy were in there, I think, or Stan Laurel. I can't remember. I mean, but yeah, this is really good. I mean, it got forgotten about because it came out and it didn't do well at all.
But, you can't always go by that.
Oh, I know, I don't either.
About earlier, Jason and I, The Thing kind of bombed at the box office because it came out around the same time as E.T.
Yeah.
Where E.T. is this happy, uplifting alien film, where The Thing is not.
Yeah, I know.
It's more nihilistic.
Yeah. But that's the same thing with Extra. Extra came out a couple weeks after E.T. or something like that, or after E.T. left. And they had Extra, and it says some extraterrestrials aren't so friendly. Or something like that. I mean, that's nihilistic, too, with, the father eating the snake eggs, and then a woman giving birth to a full-grown man. That was really messed up. Did you ever see Extra?
I don't think I ever did.
Well, the second and third one are completely unrelated. But the first one, I mean...
Like Trolls and Trolls 2?
Oh, well, I mean, Trolls 2 was really bad, but
I still got to watch that.
Do you
I
see?
didn't watch the documentary.
Oh, the documentary is fantastic. I rented Troll when I was still in the Army. I think I went home for a couple of days and they had Troll 2 there, and I remember renting it. I liked it, but it was nothing like the other one.
I like Troll, the original one.
The original one's good.
Carl Beekler came out to the Horror Fest. He was a pretty cool guy. It's nice to get to meet him.
Yeah, Sonny Bono was in it.
Yeah, and then then they did that second one. I think John was at one point thinking of remaking that with a bigger budget. See,
That'd be cool. They could do that.
He wanted a bigger budget, but he just couldn't. So, but I wonder if he's ever thought about doing like a Kickstarter or something like that.
Because that was the one that was back when Empire, before Richard Band went to Full Moon, and that played in the theater. The Troll did, and then like I don't know, Troll 2 didn't play in it. It might have played in a couple theaters, but no, I mean it's just a completely different film, And I think the most expensive movie that Empire did was Robo Jocks, which I saw in the theater. And I took my one friend to see it. Boy, he never forgave me. He said, "What's this damn Transformers and stuff?"
How did you like it though?
I thought it was okay, but some of it
was worth watching.
Yeah, it's worth watching. But I mean, there's a couple parts when they went in space. Like, why are they going to space for? And I started laughing. Him and I started laughing. He's like, "I'm going to kill you for taking me to see a stupid thing." But that was in the military theater. That was Stuart Gordon. I'd never seen an Empire Richard Band movie in theaters ever. And there's the only one. I mean, that's whenever they went bankrupt, and then it went to Epic Films. Because there was some like Tony Todd, that Prison, that went to New World, and like Ghost Town went to New World. And then some of it, when they went bankrupt, a lot of these things got bought by other companies.
So Tony Todd Prison, was that the one with Kane Hodder in it?
Yeah.
Because when Kane Hodder came out to the Horror Fest, that's before I started working for them. So I timed it right. I went on, I think it might have been a Friday afternoon, because I figured, well, a lot of people are still kids are in school, it's not going to be crowded. And I got to stand around and BS with Kane Hodder.
Oh, that's awesome.
For a while. From those who don't know, he's like the most popular of the Jason Voorhees from Friday 13th. And unfortunately, I was by myself, so I had no one to take a picture of me and him. But a really nice guy, and I mentioned how Tony Todd had come out to the Horror Fest, and I never got to meet him. And he fell in love with Erie and was working.
Oh, cool.
He wrote a screenplay about Erie. It takes place in Erie.
Yeah.
About these two brothers that bet on a Steelers-Browns game with the Mafia, and they lost, and now they're on a run from the Mafia.
Oh, that's awesome.
Out in Erie, and you meet these strange people. But he goes, "Oh yeah, Tony, he's a great guy." It's like, we did this prison movie together, and he says that got me interested in Friday 13th, because he said he was wearing
and makeup,
like a hood
hood
or something. I don't know, I've never seen it. And then that kind of got him interested, or mask, and that kind of got him interested in Friday 13th.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I mean, prison was the first gateway to one of the unusual horror genres, the haunted prison movie. Because there was a couple other ones like Destroyer with Zato and
the Chair. Destroyer.
Yeah, the Chair, and like Death Row Diner and Slaughterhouse Rock and stuff like that.
Jailhouse Rock.
Yeah. They said Slaughterhouse Rock, the soundtrack was from Devo, which I thought was cool. I've seen that a couple times, still don't remember anything from it. It's a soundtrack from Devo. So I guess that's it for me and my buddy John. Went off on a tangent again, but
of course.
I mean, it's a great movie. It's just, I know, it's just
keep it hanky.
Yeah, keep a hanky, Mr. Hanky.
Hey,
the Christmas poo. So until next time, please take care, my legion. Alrighty, cool.